And let's start with some national news first. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday said that it was like the festival of Diwali had come early for traders due to some significant decisions that have been taken regarding the goods and services tax. The Modi's government on Friday had eased tax rules for small and medium business companies as it had rushed to address the growing criticism of its stewardship of Asia's third largest economy. Now, thousands of Hindu married women flocked to markets to buy bangles, sieve new clothes, sweets and ornaments on the eve of Karwa Chauth festival, which is observed for the well-being of their husbands. Now, Karwa Chauth falls on the fourth day of the Hindu month of Kartik, and this year it will be celebrated today. Now, Sikhs in Amritsar celebrated 482nd birth anniversary of Guru Ram Das, the fourth spiritual master of Sikhism, on Saturday. The Golden Temple in Amritsar was decked up with lights and flowers, even as hundreds of thousands of devotees paid obeisance in the temple. Now, India's prominent Islamic seminary Darul Uloom on Saturday banned women from cutting their hair and also plucking, trimming and shaping their eyebrows. The Darul Uloom Deoband's personal grooming activities as un-Islamic. The fatwa was released in northern Deoband region of the state of Uttar Pradesh. The Indian Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has conducted a survey of the Doklam-Nathula area on the Sino-India border. Now, this comes just a day after the Indian government said that the status quo in Doklam has not changed since the disengagement on the 28th of August. And to some international news now, and US President Donald Trump has warned North Korea once again in a series of tweets that he has put out. He has said that only one thing will work to solve the North Korean crisis. The president has also repeatedly hinted that diplomatic options have been exhausted so far as North Korea is concerned by the United States. Now, Iran's President Hassan Rouhani has once again given a staunch defense of the country's nuclear and missile program, saying that even multiple Donald Trumps cannot overshadow the deal's benefits. The Rouhani statement comes just a day after the White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders had spoken about US President Donald Trump's plans on the landmark deal, which he has vowed to scrap, calling it one of the worst deals ever negotiated by the United States. Now, China and Pakistan have strongly dismissed the US objection of the multi-billion-dollar CPEC corridor. Now, this after the Trump administration had informed the Congress that the project, which is part of China's One Belt, One Road initiative, passes through a disputed territory. Amidst the increasing pressure on Pakistan to rein in terror organizations, China has now backed Islamabad, saying that the United States should recognize Pakistan's efforts in combating terrorism. Responding to the US claims, Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that Islamabad has made significant efforts in combating terrorism and had made huge sacrifices to defeat the forces of terror. The 11 people were injured on Saturday when a car collided with pedestrians near London's Natural History Museum. The police have said that it was believed that the car had mounted the pavement outside the popular attraction in West London and had moved into a number of pedestrians before officers arrested a man from the scene. Hurricane Nate has made landfall in the mouth of the Mississippi River in Louisiana and is expected to pass to the east of New Orleans in the United States. Now, the storm is expected to make a second landfall on the Mississippi coast later today, and it is the fourth major hurricane to hit the United States in a span of less than 2 months. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has urged her conservatives on Saturday, and this is to try to forge a nationally untested three-way alliance with the Free Democrats and the Greens. And this is her most explicit backing yet for the so-called Jamaican coalition. The Merkel has said that a special party meeting will be held to let members of her conservative Christian Democrats vote on any coalition deal. Afghanistan has welcomed the arrival of new US-made military helicopters on Saturday, this beginning a process that will radically transform the young Afghan Air Force. The new UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters cost almost $8 million each. This forms a major part of the US-led military coalition's training efforts, which were expanded under proposals approved by President Donald Trump in the month of August earlier this year. Now, Turkey has deployed tanks and military vehicles in Ugul Pinar, which borders Syria, on Saturday. The move comes as Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has said that the Syrian rebel fighters are in fact planning to launch a major military operation backed by Turkish forces into the northwestern area of Syria, which is largely controlled by jihadists. The new groups of Rohingyas arrived at camps in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar district on Saturday, joining the over 500,000 others who've been fleeing the ethnic violence in Myanmar. On Saturday, Rohingya women were queuing up outside a makeshift doctor's office, waiting for their sick babies to be examined. Meanwhile, further near the border with Myanmar, hundreds of women also lined up for blankets and milk formula. Now, amidst fears of disease spreading in the rain-drenched camps, and aid workers have said that cholera is a clear and impending risk in the region. The thousands of opposition supporters came on Saturday to the Field of Mars in Russia's St. Petersburg. This in support of jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny ahead of a presidential election in March. Now, the protesters also demanded the resignation of President Vladimir Putin. Some 1,500 activists waved red and white banners and gathered in a square before heading for the city's main street, shouting, "Putin is a thief and free Navalny." The Russian riot police have also detained more than 200 opposition activists on Saturday for taking part in a wave of protests in support of the jailed opposition leader Navalny ahead of a presidential election in the month of March next year. Now, Canada will pay up to $598 million in terms of compensation to the thousands of Aboriginals who were removed as children from their families decades ago. The top official on Friday has promised to end a terrible legacy. The move is the latest bid by the Liberal government of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to repair the ties with Canada's Indigenous population, which says that it has been the victim of systematic racial discrimination for centuries. The bullet-riddled body of a news photographer was found in central Mexico on Friday. This puts 2017 on track to becoming the deadliest year yet for journalists in Mexico. The damaged cars and demolished buildings littered the Libyan migrant smuggling hub of Sabratha on Saturday. This after a 3-week battle had raged between rival brigades. The fighting in Sabratha has left dozens of people dead and injured and has also caused extensive damage to the residential areas. And also, a natural gas station in Ghana's capital, Accra, exploded on Saturday evening, killing an unknown number of people. The footage from eyewitnesses showed a giant fireball rising high into the sky as frightened residents ran from the explosion. Two Saudi guards were killed when a gunman suddenly attacked the Saudi security forces at the gates of the Jeddah Royal Palace in Saudi Arabia. Three others have also sustained injuries. The gunman was later killed by the royal guards. The gunman has been identified as a 28-year-old Saudi national, and the officials have said that he did not have a criminal record or any known connection or affiliation with any terror group. An investigation is presently underway to determine his motive behind this sudden attack. The tens of thousands of people gathered in Madrid and Barcelona on Saturday as Catalonia prepared to declare independence. Many dressed in white called for talks to defuse Spain's worst political crisis for decades. The flagless protest was called by Parlems, a citizens' organization in 50 Spanish cities. A blizzard hit parts of the Hami city in northwest China over the weekend, disrupting traffic as temperatures drop across the region. The snow started to fall on Friday and continued through Saturday afternoon, leading the local meteorological department to issue a blue alert for a blizzard. According to the Met Department, the temperature will continue to drop after the snowstorm until the 10th of October. The farmers around Bavaria gathered on Saturday to drive their cattle down from paddocks high up in the Alps at the end of summer. Locally known as Almab Trieb, the event is celebrated with the cattle being decorated with flowers, and also it attracts tourists, locals and other people who travel from abroad. The dozens of married couples participated in the 18th annual North American Wife Carrying Championship in Maine on Saturday. Now, spectators cheered as the contestants hauled their significant other halves over obstacles and through a water pit. Now, the winning couple earned a trip to Finland for the World Wife Carrying Championship. The hundreds of hot air balloons of all shapes and sizes filled the sky as the 46th International Balloon Fiesta kicked off on Saturday. 500 traditional balloons shared the sky with 94 special balloons, which included some shaped like animals and rocket ships. This year's event features balloons from 50 countries, and nearly 1 million people are expected to turn out for the event, which ends next Sunday. A nearly 70-year-old woman has earned the nickname of Soaring Sky Grandma for inspiring millions after she took up the sport of powered paragliding at the age of 59 in China. During the 2009 National Day holiday, Li Jiasen soared into the sky by herself for the first time. And as she took the flight, Li said that she felt like a bird taking flight. The Grammy Award-winning American composer Lin-Manuel Miranda released a tribute song for hurricane relief charity efforts in Puerto Rico. The part English, part Spanish song, almost like praying, features the Latin music industry's biggest names, including Jennifer Lopez, Marc Anthony and Luis Fonsi, amongst others. The American stand-up comedian and actor Ralphie May, best known for featuring on American television network NBC's summer reality competition series Last Comic Standing, dies of a cardiac arrest at the age of 45 following a brief battle with pneumonia. The Oscar-nominated French-Canadian filmmaker Denis Villeneuve's long-awaited sequel Blade Runner 2049 debuts at $36 million in the box office in its first weekend of release. The sci-fi franchise starring Oscar-nominated American actors Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford was made on a budget of approximately $155 million and is expected to open at $50 million at the box office. The Grammy Award-winning rapper Nelly was arrested near Seattle early on Saturday after a woman accused him of sexually assaulting her on a tour bus. The woman reported that the assault had occurred when the bus was parked at a shopping center in Auburn.